Dorney Park in Allentown, Pennsylvania may very well be one of the most historic parks out there. It has a history that dates all the way back to the mid 1800s. This is what I like to call a critically underrated park, because oftentimes when you talk about Cedar Fair, you talk about Cedar Point, Canada's Wonderland, Carowinds, Knott's Berry Farm, and this park just kind of gets swept under the rug, and I think that's unfair because this has a lot of good things going for it. It has a lot of good things going for it. It's a very clean park. It has a good atmosphere, and it really has that traditional theme park and amusement park feel to it. If you've ever been to Lake Compounce or Kennywood or Knoebels, you understand what I'm talking about. It has that traditional theme park feel to it. You have a lot of the same and common flat rides that you're going to find in a lot of parks. Music Express, a drop tower, pirate ship scrambler, chair swings, scramblers, stuff of that sort. Nothing's going to blow your mind in their flat ride department. They did once have a S&S Scream and Swing, but I think since I've been there, I think they do not have one anymore. They have a great water park, though, with Wildwater Kingdom, which really surprised me. There's nothing that's going to blow your mind there, but there's a lot of fun and good slide complexes. There's nothing crazy. There's nothing that tall or that major or that mind-blowing, but the slides they have there all fit well, and it's a very clean water park. A lot of people don't realize the importance of having a clean water park. I have King's Dominion as my home park, and I often go to the water park there, and it just doesn't, there's muck and icky water, and it sometimes just doesn't feel like the cleanliness and most sanitary place to be. Dorney's Wildwater Kingdom really was nice, and it had nice paving and nice landscaping, and the restrooms were clean. And a lot of times when you go into water park restrooms, they have the grounds kind of wet and sticky and gooey and gross. That was not the case with Dorney Park's Wildwater Kingdom. It was really clean and really nice, and I really appreciated how well kept it was. So yes, it is a very solid water park that I would suggest, even if you're not, going for the water park. Obviously, none of us go for the water park. I didn't go for the water park. It was something that I thought was really nice and refreshing in the midsummer day that I was there to just check out real quick. I was only there for about an hour or two, and I still was able to go on all of the coasters that were at Dorney Park. Which now let's talk about their coaster collection. They have 4 really great coasters, and then their lineup does kind of drop off. But I think their top 4 is fantastic. Possessed is a great Intimate Impulse coaster. Talon is a great B&M invert coaster. Hydra is a fantastic B&M floorless coaster, and a superb Morgan Hyper coaster with Steel Force. And that rounds up their top 4, and I think it's a great top 4. I actually have this park ranked above King's Dominion, which is my home park. And I would strongly say that, and I would strongly advocate that the top 4 at this park is actually better than the top 4 at King's Dominion, which, we can argue about that another day, but I feel that very strongly is the case. So, with that, they also have Thunderhawk, their classic wooden coaster, which might not be the best roller coaster. It was an all right ride, but look at the history. It was built in 1923. It's one of the oldest roller coasters in the United States, so cut it some slack. It's a historic ride and paved the way for future coasters to come. So it might not be the most spectacular ride out there, but it's a very historical one. They also have their Wild Mouse coaster, and they have their Kiddie coaster in the Planet Snoopy area, which I don't recall the name of. But their Wild Mouse was all right, nothing to write home about. Something that I want to talk about also is Demon Drop. This is their intimate drop ride. And, some people consider this a coaster. I, for one, do not consider this a coaster, but some people do consider this a coaster. I love this ride regardless, though. It's still fun. It's very wacky and weird and different and strange, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun. I used to operate at Cedar Point, if none of you had heard of that or hadn't known about that. And it's a fun ride. It's really good. The drop is better than most drop towers I've ridden, actually. So if you're on the edge of whether or not it might be worth the ride, I would say even if there's a long line when you're at Dorney Park, which I would suspect there's not because this park doesn't seem to get any long lines normally, but I was there on a summer day, but I don't know. If there is for some reason a long line on Demon Drop, I would still recommend hitting it up. It's a unique attraction. It's really awesome. It's a lot of fun. It's well worth it, and it makes Dorney Park an even more unique park. The food at Dorney Park was nothing spectacular. There was pizza, funnel cakes, French fries, pretzels, that kind of thing. They do have a chicken and pizza. They actually have 2 chicken and Pete's, which was strange, but they have the chicken and Pete's, which is my favorite chain of food in the Cedar Fair chain. It's like a sports bar type food. They have like these things called crab fries, which I'm not sure how they're seasoned in a particular way or what. I don't think I've ever had them, but it's just your typical bar food. It's good. It's good. It's fun. It's fine. It's a nice little atmosphere. but it's nothing to write home about. But it is my favorite, in terms of the Cedar Fair wide restaurant chain. That I think is one of the only ones they have that's chain wide. And for some reason, it's not at Kings Dominion, but it's at like every other Cedar Fair park. And Dorney Park has two. And so if you're looking for food, that's where I would recommend. But there's also other locations I saw. They have a Subway. They have a lot of typical theme park food. I didn't see any entertainment while I was down there. But according to their website, the majority of their shows are centered around Charlie Brown and the Planet Snoopy area. So I would not expect anything superb out of Dorney Park. I did hear one show while I was walking around, and that was just, singing of like normal, regular pop tunes. I didn't hear anything spectacular going on. So I would not recommend seeing a show here. I don't know if they're great or not, or if they're worth waiting for a show, but I didn't see anything, and nothing looks worthwhile at Dorney Park in terms of their entertainment department. But Dorney Park overall is 100% worth the stop. I would put this towards the top of your priority list if you're doing a Pennsylvania road trip or a Northeast road trip. I would say this is up there with Hershey Park and Kennywood and Knoebels and Six Flags Great Adventure. I would say that this should be up there with those parks because it is well worth the trip. It has a great top four, like I said, and it's a great, unique, historic park that's well worth the stop if you're in the area, without a doubt. I've heard some iffy things about Dorney Park before I'd gone, but I definitely would recommend it, and I strongly advocate for a trip to Dorney Park. I think it's well worth it, and it needs to be done. So if you were on the edge about Dorney Park in Allentown, Pennsylvania, I hope you're not now. I hope you realize that this is a great park, and I hope you get up there and check it out. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time.